Hello and welcome everybody to the HeflaTV presentation of the Join Dota League Season number 4. It's a 2-game series, a best of 2, however you want to call it, between MiTH Trust and Invasion Esports. It's of course the Asian Division 1 here, so all the games should be rather exciting. Invasion might have a slight upper hand because they've just been so strong for almost half a year now really. MiTH Trust though, struggling a little bit, especially in the Thailand Championship at LAN event. But in any case, I'm Coucher and I'm joined by OD Pixel. How you doing?
Not bad at all, Mr. Coucher, and yeah, indeed, it should be an interesting game. I'm liking the bans we've seen so far, you know, banning out the Death Prophet straight away, love it. It's not a very exciting hero to watch to play, so get her out of the pool. And then, slightly more interesting bans, I mean, we see the second ban of Invasion, banning out the Magnus. I mean, what do you think the thought process is behind that one?
I guess just Magnus overall at the moment is way more of a popular hero. I haven't seen too much the Southeast Asian scene apart from the Thailand Championship. I think it was a week and a half ago by now already. And you definitely see some just differences from the European or the Western and the Eastern scene really. But Magnus is pretty strong overall, as is the Ogre Magi. Although Razor first pick, to be honest, in the Western scene you wouldn't see it at all.
No, that's true, yeah. That's what I was thinking. It was slightly weird. And then obviously you send the Razor pick, and then Invasion kind of in response to that, they pick up the Batrider and also the Treant Protector. I mean, Treant Protector he's pretty strong, especially with that Ags upgrade. Not that we'll probably see the Aghanim Scepter come out on him, because it's unlikely he's going to get that farm, and by the time he does, it'll probably be a stage of the game where it doesn't matter if he gets it, because they'll be so far ahead if your support's got that much farm on him. But a pretty strong hero all around, and quite good against the Razor pick. Obviously, you're kind of going to expect MiTH Trust to come out with those kind of early to mid-game pushes, with the Static Storm, forcing the fights around the towers. And Treant, you know, he's going to be able to protect them if MiTH Trust aren't able to take down a tower in one full push. You know, they're going to back up. Treant's just going to heal the tower back up, and you're going to kind of be back to square one. So MiTH Trust, they've got to be pretty kind of committed with their pushes, I feel. Otherwise, the Treant is going to be pretty darn annoying.
The Treant, he's going to have to be annoying. Otherwise, if you start losing towers while having a Treant on your lineup, that hero is going to lose effectiveness so damn fast.
Yeah.
I mean, like you mentioned, he doesn't really offer too much in the late game. He can go for the Aghanims, and I have to say, I have not seen an Aghanim Scepter Treant ever.
Me neither. Yeah,
so
that's the thing. Yeah.
I would love to see it, but whoa, a Witch Doctor pick for Invasion. The Treant ultimate, the Overgrowth, with the Death Ward, they synergize reasonably well together. But MiTH, they just free cores straight out. Tide, Razor, and the Morphling. I think Tide, to be honest, is one of the stronger heroes in the game. He can just farm rather fast with the Anchor Smash, can even go for Ancients at some point. And just Refresher, Tide is way too scary. And the Invasion at the moment, Batrider, he can go for BKB, Treant and the Witch Doctor, though. I mean, Witch Doctor, he's gonna go for that Aghanims before the BKB anyway. And unless Invasion completely face roll MiTH, this Witch Doctor isn't gonna get Aghanims BKB, at least not too soon. But Invasion, going for a Viper, it's a hero that they have run rather often previously as well. Just a good mid-game, just centric hero.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I think this kind of fits with the exact kind of playstyle we're probably going to be seeing coming out from Invasion. Because they've seen the Morphling, and they're like, okay, we do not want this game to go to the late. And Viper is pretty darn good against a Morphling, because you've got to remember, with Morphling, obviously in a lot of situations, you get the Morphling low, and then he's going to be morphing into strength. And yeah, it's effectively giving him more HP, but at the same time, the percentage of health he's got isn't actually increasing. So Nether Toxin from Viper is going to be actually pretty darn effective against Morphling for the majority of the early to mid-game stages. So it's a pretty smart pick, but it also kind of limits Invasion unless they decide to put the Viper mid and then pick a kind of more harder late-game carry to put in that safe lane farming position, which I think is unlikely. I think they'll pick another mid hero and run the Viper in the safe lane. But there's definitely the opportunity for that. But it's going to work against the Morphling. But now we see a Baden picked up, so here comes the kind of defense, the backup for Morphling that's going to protect him. A Lamb to get the farm and the free roam until the point of the game where he's able to just pretty much blow up that Viper if he decides to go for the shotgun build. And even not, you know, the late game stages, Morphling is going to be able to easily out-carry a Viper. So it's an interesting pick from Invasion. I think it's going to work, but by the looks of it, MiTH, they have the capability to deal with it. Also, I'm not kind of sure with the Witch Doctor pick. Obviously, you said Aghanim's into BKB, but they are playing up against a Tidehunter, and it's going to be very hard for Witch Doctor to get that Death Ward off. Obviously, the cooldown's a little bit shorter than the Ravage, but, you know, more than half the time, Tidehunters are going to just be coming straight in with the Ravage and stopping Witch Doctor straight away.
It's going to be definitely hard for Invasion to just go for that wombo combo kind of team fight. At the very least, they don't have the longest cooldowns or really any of their ultimates, so that's going to be in their favor a little bit. And MiTH picking up the Abaddon, it maybe for me just makes the lanes a little bit too passive, but of course if you're running a Morphling, passive is fine for you. As long as you can defend high ground, really it's going to be fine, because so far Razor and Morphling, they can just easily outcarry the side of Invasion. Invasion with the 5th pick, they might still be going for a safe lane core, something like a Slark. I mean, a core that can be a late game threat as well, but is also just excellent in the mid game.
Yeah, I think Slark's a good call, actually, of course, yeah. Working pretty well against Morphling, stealing those stats. And it looks like MiTH recognised this. They ban out the Terrorblade. They're trying to kind of shut down any possibility of Invasion taking it late. They also banned out the Necrolite, quite interestingly, who is a really strong kind of position 1 carry for the most of it. And he scales relatively okay. Pretty good, of course, again, against the Morphling. You know, the fact that we're talking about the Morphling with the Viper, there's going to be cases where the Morphling is going to be low percentage-wise. And obviously, Reaper's Scythe is going to do a hell of a lot against that. So some smart bans out there from MiTH. And also, as you're saying, Abaddon obviously being quite a passive defensive support. Again, looks like Invasion recognised that, kind of realised MiTH do need a bit of a hard hitter, kind of initiator, and they, well, effectively ban out the Vengeful Spirit. So both teams really kind of reading each other very well at the moment. And, I mean, yeah, it's kind of down to this last pick from Invasion, but from what it looks like so far, Invasion are definitely going to want to be taking this game sooner than later.
I mean, they are a team that just loves early aggression as well, the early roaming. Treant, not the best of heroes to do that, at least not with a Witch Doctor. I mean, Paralyzing Cask, not the most reliable of stuns. Although Paralyzing Cask, with the lead sheet to follow, might just be enough, especially if the Treant starts with boots, for example. But Invasion, they really adopted a playstyle that was rather similar to that of Titan before TI4 happened. Just early aggression, the supports roaming around, getting the early kills, and just never letting go of the advantage that they get. In 6.82 it's a little bit harder, of course, because any kind of mistake you make is going to be punished so heavily if you're ahead. But we'll see if or what Invasion wants to go for now. If they want to continue with the aggression, or, I mean, even if they go for like a super late game carry now, the 4 of their heroes should be able to create enough space. I mean, oh, a Lycan. So I guess they're just still going to just want to take this game rather early.
Yeah, it looks like exactly that's what they want to do, and obviously we saw the power of Lycan recently in the recent Star Ladder competition, and it looks like Invasion are going to try and grab him under their own belt and try and use his power effectively. I mean, Lycan, he's still a really strong hero. I mean, obviously you've got to be a little bit careful with the ult. It's not that easy to bash R and just get the hell out of there. You've got to be a little more careful with your positioning and the split push. But whether MiTH Trust are going to be able to defend against these kind of early aggressive pushes, especially coming out from the Viper and the Lycan, I mean, I think they can, because they do have an Abaddon, and he is going to allow someone like the Tidehunter just waltz in, tank up the damage, get him with a nice anchor smash, and obviously has level 6 hits with the Ravage as well. And we're talking about high impact support. They're going to backsy themselves a Lion, and that's going to pretty much fit the bill for exactly what a MiTH just were missing in their lineup. And I think it's going to be an interesting game, but I think it's going to be a hard one for Invasion. And I'm not quite sure that they are going to be able to overcome MiTH in the early to mid game, even though MiTH do have a Morphling. But we'll have to see.
I tend to agree with you there. I mean, MiTH, they just have maybe an easier to execute lineup, just farm up, turtle if really need be, and well, at the very least Invasion can keep their own towers alive, but I don't know if it's going to be enough like you said. But to introduce the lineups as well, for Invasion, ADTR will be playing the Treant Protector, leaving Kechikimba on the Viper, might go into the mid lane, as FCFC will be the Lycan for them, leaving OK on the Witch Doctor, and the last one will be Ghost on the Batrider for the off lane.
Okay, indeed, indeed. And on the side of MiTH, we're going to have TR on that support at Baden. No, sorry, not TR. It's SD, in fact. It's going to be Gotcha on the line support, followed up by Lakels on that carry Morphling. And in mid lane, we're going to have MyPro, and on the off lane, Hehe on the Tidehunter. And hey-oh, there's a little bit of action going on the top lane as SD finds EasyGAA on the bat. And they're going to exchange a few right clicks for the time being. No one put a point into anything as of yet, so it's a little bit of aggression, but they do know the bats pop down a ward, and straight away, SD is going to remove that from the map. And nice bit of awareness there from a Baden, and it was just unfortunate for the Batrider he got spotted, because as soon as you see a Batrider that far across your side of the map at this stage of the game, you're going to know something fishy's up. And it's going to make the off lane a little bit harder there for Batrider.
Yep. It's really good if you get the Observer Ward down this early on. Not only does Abaddon get the 50 gold, of course, you're losing 100 for a sentry, but it's definitely worth it. Just 7 minutes without vision. Batrider gonna have to be a little bit more wary. I mean, Lion. Oh, actually, Tidehunter. Is he gonna go down here? I think he can outrun them with the boots. He just took a crazy amount of damage. Howl, Leechy to slow him down, and just a few punches.
Oh wow, yeah, Jesus. I mean, yeah, that extra 14 damage each isn't something to kind of laugh about. And yeah, I think he obviously had the point in Anchor Smash. I guess that did relatively help him, being the fact that they were two melee heroes. But yeah, that's going to put him on a bit of a back foot in this lane, especially as he didn't come to lane with a salve, just came to lane with the brown boots and the tangos. So does need to be careful here. I mean, he's trying to go up against OK, but I mean, the damage, it's not going to be anything to laugh about. Top lane a bit of aggression as well as Batrider, totally out of place here. And a stun from the line. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do there, but that's going to be first blood going the way of MiTH, and that's a pretty darn good start when you're running a lane with a Morphling. So Batrider, a little bit out of position there. I don't know what he was doing. I mean, line out of haste rune, you can't run away from that.
I really don't know why he was there. I mean, if he had been level 2, I could have understood maybe trying to go for a kill on Lakels, who was dropping rather low as well. But without sticking Napalm, only with the Firefly, there's virtually no chance that you can get the kill. Maybe he saw Morphling morphing and knew that he doesn't have waveform or something, but even then, you need to stick in Napalm to actually do anything, especially against a tri-lane. So getting way too eager, just giving away unnecessary gold and XP really.
Absolutely, and he does need to be careful now, because Lion's hit level 2, so he's going to be able to get that point in the Hex if he chooses to, and that's going to be a fair amount of lockdown and disable against this bat. I mean, this lane, it is pretty nasty for the bat to go up against, and I think, well, it looks like he might even be doing it now. I was going to say it might even get to the portion where he does want to just head into the jungle and start making those stacks, because I really don't think he's going to find anything in this lane, and if anything, he's just going to be throwing his life away every now and then. In fact, it looks like he's just going to be stacking up the Ancients. Mid lane, how's mid lane going? Looking at the last hits, it looks like Viper's doing all right, but he's certainly taking a lot of harassment from MyPro.
Yeah, MyPro somehow only has 3 last hits so far. I mean, Kechik was harassed, I guess, for like a couple of seconds early on with the Lion coming in with the haste. But would have still expected Razor to do a little bit better. Base damage wise, just neck and neck with the Viper. Both started at 47 when they were level 1. So I guess it's not that easy to last it, but 3 and 1 is a pretty bad score. But it's gonna pick up, man. The static link harassment is just so strong.
Yeah, indeed it is. And I mean, I'm really not sure what this Batrider's hoping to do. I mean, he is heading to the jungle, but he's only level 1, and he's a fair away from level 2. So he isn't gonna have that sticky napalm. This creep camp might get him a little bit closer, but it's gonna be a very slow start for the Batrider. And in a game where MiTH are going to be the kind of ones hoping to kind of tick down the game to the later stages, this is not the best of starts you want for your offlaner, because you kind of need this bat to come online as soon as you can with the level 6, so you can start jumping in on the Morphling before he has his major items online and shutting him down.
Well, at the least, Batrider can get something out of it. Oh, MyPro might be in some trouble. Poison attacks to slow him down. They need a little bit more. Fireflies there. 1 or 2 more right clicks. The static link. does mitigate the damage a little bit, but they get the kill in the end anyway. 2 points into poison attack. Razor just did not see that coming, and really, I wouldn't have thought that Ghost, being only a level 2 in the Batrider, can just help out. 1 stack of Sticky Napalm was enough slow though.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, that 3% slow does stack up, and it's not something for the Razor to just walk away from, and that really helped the Batrider as well. I mean, we see him now, he's on level 3. He's back on track. You know, he's the same level as the lane supports on his side, so he's effectively back where he could have been. So great little bit of play there for Invasion in the mid lane. But of course, at the same time, you've got to remember this Morphling is going to get free farm. Looks like Lycan is, to be fair, as well on this lane, because it doesn't look like the Tidehunter is able to do too much in terms of shutting down the Lycan. And on the plus for Invasion, obviously with this Lycan, they are going to have the better push. So they're going to be able to claim that tower gold a lot earlier than the side of MiTH is going to be able to.
Yeah, most sure, certainly so, especially having living armor on your own side. Even ST comes in, but what can really happen to do? I guess the 40 shield can do some AoE damage, going for some aggression on the Tide. But they're just going to slow it down. Maybe Invasion should even back off now and start pulling through, just getting the lane under their own control once again. And go for the push once ST has actually rotated away again.
Yeah.
Oh, mid lane though, KG might be in some trouble. Gacha wants to come in, he has a double damage rune as well. Don't think he can get close enough though. I mean, Lion has pretty crappy movement speed. It's not like Viper is that fast, but you should be able to react fast enough.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard gang to make on this Viper. And I mean, he has got the point in corrosive skin and headdress as well. And I'm not quite sure, even if they did catch him out, whether they'd be able to guarantee themselves a kill. I mean, Razor still not hit level 6 quite. So yeah, Viper is about to get the Viper Strike online. And that's another time where we might see a little bit more aggression come out. Maybe some more rotations from the Batrider. Now, looks like Batrider now, he's got the Tranquil Boots. He's going to feel a little bit safer in the off lane. And obviously realizing that perhaps they did catch wind that the supports have left the top lane for MiTH. So the lane is a little bit safer for him to gather some XP from.
What do you think, by the way, of the Morphling going for MiTH? Lakels, as a player, he really loves to go greedy. I mean, MiTH is his favorite pickup and Morphling one of his favorite heroes. But is the MiTH just, I mean, it's going to ensure them late game, yes, but is this too greedy? I mean, they know Invasion are just hitting for the mid game timing.
It's certainly an item of confidence, because he picking that up thinks, well, Invasion, they're not going to be able to kind of shut us down before the game gets to later stages. So he's obviously got no fear at the moment from their side. And I think it will work okay, because they have got a pretty good turtling lineup, MiTH. And, you know, they have got this Razor, who for the most of it can pretty much hold the fort on his own without the Morphling being apparent in these team fights, allowing the Morphling to get free farm. So as long as this early game doesn't go too rocky for MiTH, I think it's an okay call for the Morphling. But mid lane looks like Razor's in trouble. There's a Viper Strike available as well if Kessick wants to pop it. He's going to go straight in with the right click. Ghost is there as well. There's going to be an Aphotic Shield though. Now stealing the damage of Kessick. They do kill off the Abaddon, Treant, and the Witch Doctor rotating in. Batrider's going to pay off his life, but they've already taken down 2 heroes. They might even get the line as well. He doesn't have mana. Yes, he does now for a poison attack, and that slow might be all that's needed. Oh, it's not going to be, because he's got no damage at all. That Static Link's taking 105 damage away from the Viper. He's going to be able to do nothing without the magical damage from poison attack. But at the end of the day, it's a 2-1 trade. Is it a trade good enough for Invasion to get the momentum going their way? I'm not quite sure. I still think Invasion need to be making more happening at this stage of the game, because this Morphling, I mean, they've really got to be careful about him. And they're not really in a position to start ganking the Morphling at this point in time, and that's going to be a real issue.
They have absolutely nothing to gank the Morphling with. Batrider, once he gets at level 6, maybe, but without the Blink Dagger, even that won't be easy. At least he has, a triple stack, I think, to farm up now with that medium camp as well with the Wolves. So he's gonna get some gold, some levels out of it. Not anywhere near the Blink Dagger still after the completion of those stacks. So he's gonna need a lot more time, or maybe more kills, maybe even get the tier 1 tower down bottom lane. It's only down to 320 HP. So should be an easy kill for them. But it's just the Treant so far, for example, hasn't done much of anything really. He does have a Medallion of Courage though. It's pretty early, minus armor this early. It can definitely do a deceptively high amount of damage, but man, just Treant is as good as that hero can be with the living armor. I just feel like that hero is so passive. These days, so much of the games are decided just by the support rotations, and theirs really haven't been there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing indeed. It's not going to be there when you've got a Witch Doctor and a Treant, unfortunately, for Invasion. And it's just the kind of playstyle that MiTH are obviously trying to use this game. It's ganking supports would have been ideal for this. TP's coming in bot. Oh, poor Witch Doctor. He's caught out. Throws a nice bouncing casket. And Treant Living Armor comes out as well. But he's caught in the middle. Morphlings come in to pick up some XP and gold from these kills. And they do kill off the Witch Doctor. Fortunately enough for the Lycan, he's able to get away. And so's the Treant. But I mean, it does force a lot of rotations. I mean, we saw 5 heroes on the side of MiTH come down to this bottom lane. I'm not totally sure if it was worth the Morphling leaving his lane for that one, but, well, it seems like MiTH and Lakel's felt otherwise.
I have to agree with you. It wasn't that bad at all for Invasion, only losing the one hero. He on the Tidehunter, he charged in so confidently, went for the Anchor Smash as well. Unfortunately, not a single creep died to the Anchor Smash because he was literally only 1 creep away from level 6. Otherwise, he would have popped Ravage straight away. So, a little bit unfortunate for MiTH, but they get the 1 kill and not that bad. They got the rotations back already as well as Ghost. Farming even up the enemy jungle, just trying to get anything. Vladimir's though finished on Lycan. So, he can start solo pushing, although he doesn't have that many levels being a part of a tri-lane.
Indeed, and I mean, obviously with this Treant picking up an early medallion, I wonder if they're going to try and make an attempt at Roshan. I mean, it's going to be a very risky one to do so, but they definitely have the capabilities as, you know, like with that Vladimir's and Treant with the old medallion, but I don't think taking Roshan is going to be something they're going to be able to do. Bottom lane though, bit of action coming in. Lycan going to use the shapeshift, and here we go. Few right clicks, going to finish off the job. Witch Doctor not letting it go the way of the Lycan because hey, supports need cash, but it's another kill, and it's a kill on the offlane Tide, who has got the Ravage available, and without him on the map, they're going to lose that tower. And hey, it's going good.
Oh man, first of all, Witch Doctor gets the kill. Now ADTR on the Treant comes and punches the tower down as well. Of course, it's nice to get some amount of farm onto the supports as well, since FC is going to take up most of the farm anyway on the Lycan.
Yeah,
so it's true. Perfectly fine, and just overall, the global gold helped the Viper finish up the mech as well. Rather early on, MyPro wanted to go for the static link. Didn't even get that much. Ghost has an Invis rune, has the level 6. But of course, the tower, you can't really dive that. He needs about 700 more gold for the blink as well. It's going to be a rather late one, to be honest, man, even if he gets it with the next 2 minutes. But oh, there's the lasso. The Viper Strike is available if they want to use it. They have the mech as well, they pop it. Should be an easy kill unless the Ravage, they keep them alive. One more right click, can they follow up? Oh god, the bottle in between. The Wolves, they help get the kill. So, they bring Razor down. Tidehunter Ravage on cooldown as well. Now, Invasion, they should just be able to push yet another tower.
Yeah, that was a good bit of play there for Invasion, and yeah, even with the Ravage, Tidehunter unable to find a return kill. And going 5-3 at the moment, and having a look at the fight recap, nice little boost, 600 in gold and about 800 in XP, so... I mean, Invasion, you know, you got to hand it to them. They are dealing with the game pretty well at this moment in time. But at the same time, it's not going awful for MiTH, and they've got this Morphling who's sitting on 81 last hits at the moment. If we look at the net worth, he is top of the board by a fair bit, 5.7k. But, I don't know. I mean, it's still early days, and this is the kind of point of the game where Invasion do flourish. And as we see, you know, they've already taken the tier 1 bot. Tier 1 mid is very, very low as well, and they should be able to do it with another push. It looks like MiTH, they're not going to let it go too easy, as they do have the Abaddon, the Razor, and they also have, just off the side, the line in the jungle. Has got level 6 as well, but looks like... No, they're not going to let it go too easy. And it looks like they're just going to try and look for the deny, and unfortunately it's just out of deny range at this moment in time.
I think Invasion, they're feeling rather confident at the moment. Treant,
yeah.
Somehow he has a crazy amount of farm. He's surpassing the Razor in net worth. I don't know how, but he's doing it. Has Arcane Boots as well, and early Arcane Boots are so crucial if you're going for a push strategy. With the mech as well, Viper, ever since the mech mana cost got increased, Viper struggled quite a lot, and he even went for an Ogre Club. Maybe it's a straight off BKB. If not, I would have preferred the point booster first if you're going for the Aghanims, just to get the extra mana pool. But they're going to get another tower, MyPro. Not going to come in close enough for the deny. That's going to be Blink Dagger on Batrider. Invasion, they still have a long way to go, but they're just making all the right moves to get to that Witch Doctor. Even has a urn now. So Invasion, they want to go aggressive and just want to stop MiTH from farming, of course. Like you said, Lakel's still farming up like a madman with the Hand of Midas. But it's still going to be a long, long while before Morphling actually is fight ready.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be too long though until he gets his Lincoln Sphere online, and that's obviously going to make him a lot harder to pick off. That's not going to be too much use there. And they are going to need to have a couple of the supports or the Viper around if they wish to try and grab him, pull him out of position. And yeah, I mean, as you said, you know, the fact that Viper, he's got the Ogre Club first. I mean, yeah, I'd like to see the Aghanims come out first on him, rather than the BKB, as you were saying, because they do need kind of this early kind of game fight potential, and Aghanims does a hell of a lot for the Viper. I mean, that reduced cooldown is pretty ridiculous. And, I mean, here comes the push.
Clash, I think. MiPro gonna get slowed down by the poison attack. Nothing exchanged so far. Oh, they see Tidehunter as well. They ping it out. So, thankfully, for Invasion, they know the Tide is there, so they're not gonna tower dive, or at least it will be so weird if they're gonna force it.
Yeah, I think they certainly need to think twice about this, and I mean, it's a sensible play here from MiTH, because they really don't want this Morphling to die. They want him to be able to continue farming, and it looks like they're going to succeed, because as you said, Invasion, realizing the better deal out of this one is to kind of break up, split up, head to respective lanes, gets a little bit of farm under your own belts, and that looks like exactly what they're going to do. And Lycan at the moment, doing pretty well for himself. I mean, he's on 2.5k gold. I mean, what does Lycan go for next, do you think? Does he go for the Necro, and does he kind of commit to this early mid-game push?
I would think so. I mean, Necro, you don't want to take this late, period, up against Razor and Morphling, even Tide. I think Necro would be the best. Just crazy pushing power, earlier access to Roshan as well if you need to go for it. And I mean, I guess Mana Drain won't play that big of a part here, unless you can really shut down Tidehunter, just get one lockdown and get the Mana Drain immediately. I doubt it's gonna happen really. So, don't think the Mana Burn will play that big of a part, maybe against Morphling, but just Necrobox, extra push, and ensure that you actually have something to go high ground with.
Yeah, I think absolutely. And definitely the pushing is working at the moment. I mean, it looks like this time they are going to be able to take the tier 1 top. No one from the side of MiTH is going to head up there this time. In fact, they're just looking to push out the lanes a little bit on their own. MiPro working on the mid lane. And where's Morphling at the moment? Oh, hang on. Razor and Abaddon nearly catching out Ghost, but he's going to be alright as he fireflies into the forest. And they're just going to back up, and looks like they are going to defend this tier 2, which they do need to do, because momentum certainly going the way of Invasion and MiTH. They need to do all they can to stop it. And looks like they're ready to fight here as they jump straight in. They get the lasso onto the Razor, but hang on line. He's going to drop first. Static Link onto the Batride, in fact, of all people. Perhaps the wrong target, and with that, Lycan's going to be happily hitting away as he's losing no damage at all. And with 2 heroes down, they're going to be able to work on this tier 2. There is going to be a TP in from Morphling, as well as the Abaddon. Morphling going straight in, and now Lycan hasn't got the shapeshift available as it is now off and down, and he's going to have to back up. But at the end of the day, 2 heroes down on the side of MiTH, a bit of damage done to the tier 2, and Invasion, they get out scot-free for the time being.
I really like the just focusing of the Lion there as well by the Batrider. Razor can't do anything to stop the lasso from happening, whereas Lion, he has the Finger of Death. I don't think he's been able to use it once. He's had the level 7 for at least like 4 minutes now, I want to say. Blink up on Tidehunter though, huge pickup. They're gonna go mid lane. There's the Death Ward coming out with the Viper Strike. Razor gonna be taken out of Fatigue Shield, just not enough. SD drops low as well. His ultimate is popped already. Are they gonna keep on going? Earth Spike onto Ghost. No, they're gonna back off, I think. Lakells, he arrives as well. Tidehunter, can you get close enough with your Blink? Oh, never mind, Blink just coming out to him. Kechikimba waveform through Flame Break. Lakells just pushed closer to the Viper. But with the Living Armor, they can't chase this, I think.
It's going to be hard. Looks like they're going to still try and commit to it, though. And nice bouncing casket is going to hold the supports back. And actually with that, Lakel's realizing that he can't go any deeper on his own. But at the same time, space effectively created as, well, Lycan, he's going to be ready to start working on that tier 2 once again. There's going to be a TP back, but it's just from the Lion, and perhaps the side of Invasion will realize this is Trent. He's there as well. Has got the Overcrow available if he wishes to pop it just to get this kill. He might do just that, and in fact he will go straight in on the line, and the damage coming out from Lycan with these Necro units and the old walls. That's too much for the poor old Lion to deal with, and again they get themselves another kill, and this game is looking very nice for Invasion at this moment, and I think they'll be very happy with the position they're in.
Well, they are feeding away the Necro units at the moment. Living Armor kept the Necro Warrior alive for a little bit longer, but in the end they get both of them, so some extra gold, some extra XP for them, but excellently done. Lion didn't stand a chance. Mana Burn. I mean, Lion's mana pool overall is pretty damn bad, to be honest. So, the Mana Burn will be quite just bad against him. But whoa, Kechikimba has his BKB finished already on the Viper somehow. So he's gonna be completely battle ready. No Ravage will stop him. I still would have preferred the Aghanims, but BKB, it's not like it's a completely bad choice or anything. And ADTR, he's on the hunt again. No Overgrowth. But 15 seconds time, he can just go in, maybe try to kill another hero. But MiTH they just aren't farming effectively. I mean, MyPro on the Razor, he's been shut down so hard.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you were saying earlier how he was kind of doing worse than the supports invasion, and oh, they're going to spot out that tree, and he's going to go straight down, and now Lycan, perhaps, yeah, you don't want to be doing this. He's looking like he's going to try and chase the Lion. Now he's turning around, but in fact, look at the damage he's doing. Razor's going to try and TP out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. No, he's going to go down, and actually Keswick taking the kill there, but as a trade that you'll happily take, you're just talking about before that fight how Razor's not doing much. Well, he's just died in turn for a support on the side of invasion, and now there's a bit of damage going on to SD on the Abaddon, but he is going to have the ultimate available this time, and a 1-for-1 trade and a tier 2 as well for the side of invasion. It's going very well indeed in this Lycan. With Necro 2, he's able to get it up to level 3 now. I mean, 19 minutes in, this is a pretty farmed Lycan. I mean, he's top of the board, you know, he's beating the Morphling, who had free farm effectively, and is running that Midas, which he did pick up very, very early.
I mean, Invasion, they're just playing their strategy perfectly. Of course, it really shows how used they are to this kind of strategy, just going for the early pushes, the timing of it. They weren't that active on the laning phase. I mean, supports were just pulling through and trying to box the Tidehunter out of the lane. But once they got their necessary levels, once they got the BKB, they just went in, and now there's only one outer tower left all of a sudden, and I expect that to be there for not too long anymore, especially now that Roshan is also going to go down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing they can do about this Roche attempt. I mean, Tidehunter is up, but hasn't got Ravaged though for 30 seconds, so they've not really got any kind of initiation. The speed it goes down far too quick for MiTH to deal with, and yeah, with the Aegis now on Lycan, I mean, they can look to very confidently kind of push, take the tier 2, take a successful team fight, and maybe even break the high ground at this point of the game. And Viper, now with his second Ogre Club after finishing the Black King bar, looks like he is going to go back and go for that Aghanim Scepter. Well, I'd expect him to go for the Aghanim Scepter. I mean, he might be working on something like a Halberd, just to deal with someone like the Morphling shutting down the right clicks, but I don't know. Do you think Aghanim Scepter is still effective at this point of the game? I'd probably say yes. I
have to agree. Oh, Blink Ravage comes out, Hex to follow from Gacha. There's the Earth Spike as well, Finger of Death on cooldown. They don't even need it, or do they? Mech BKB. They need a little bit more physical damage, and Ghost, he comes in, Death Ward from the low ground from OK. They're gonna get the kill on MyPro. Again, the Razor goes down. SD's ultimate pops. Lakel's gonna wait for him away as well, but it's a 1-for-0, and FC, he's chasing for more. He's gonna get the Lion. Necrobook's helping out now. SD, no ultimate anymore. Abaddon gonna lose his life. And GG called. That fight, they couldn't even kill that one hero.
Absolutely, yeah, boy, it was just like, wow. 5 of them jumping in on Viper, yeah, popping all the ultimates, but I mean, 20 minutes into a game, that's where a Viper shines, and that's where the lineup of Invasion shone as well. And when a Lycan does that well, that early on, there really is nothing you can do, and perhaps they'll obviously realise that Invasion are very good with kind of controlling the early to mid game, and we won't see such greedy picks come out from the side of MiTH Trust in the second game.
Yeah, might be so indeed, or maybe just ban out the Lycan. It's crazy, man. After Starladder, Lycan has been more of a popular pick, or ban even, just because some teams, if you know how to play that hero, he is still pretty much as strong as ever, maybe even slightly stronger with the ultimate, the extra movement speed there. But in any case, guys, this was only game number 1 in a 2-game series, so we're gonna have game 2 of Invasion versus MiTH coming out. Maybe MiTH can just prove to be a little bit more resilient and tie up the series, because at the moment, at least for the European division, out of 11 games, only 2 games have ended 2-0. All the others have been draws, ties, 1-1. So maybe this one will be as well, but we're gonna just head into game number 2 now, guys. So if you enjoyed the casting, be sure to follow us. It's HeflaTV everywhere, of course. You're gonna find the links below the stream. For the casters, it's at Coucher for me, at ODPixel for my co-caster, I think.
That's bang on, bang on.
So yeah, you can check us out, leave us some feedback if you liked us, if you think we can improve on stuffing and whatnot. But guys, see you in game 2.